And we're back! Welcome to Comics Corner. What's up? This is Jordan Owens with my very popular YouTube series where I interview a fellow comic. This week...
Hi, Comics Corner. You're not going to introduce who I am?
Usually the person does, but I mean, this week coming to you from...
I'm Anden Scott, comedian.
Off to a killer start. You're from Anden Scott?
You threw me for a loop. I thought you were going to actually host. You're going to make me host and interview myself?
Yeah, so ask me questions about me.
Alright, so when did you first get into my comedy?
My comedy. How much have you had to drink?
I've had about 4 waters and a Coke.
You drunkie. No, let's get back on track, people.
Right.
Here, we're at the very official Comics Corner. So this is Anden Scott. How are you tonight, man?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. All I heard was, this is Anden Scott, now man. So, yes.
I don't speak that fast, motherfucker.
I'm doing great tonight, Jordan. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. You just got done hosting here at Fred's. Did you enjoy hosting? Do you like hosting?
I do like hosting. It's, just something different, and, I enjoy it.
Yeah? How long have you been doing comedy now?
I've been doing comedy for about a year and a half.
That's pretty good, man. You've come a long way. Where'd you start?
Where did I start? I started it off the Hook Comedy Club. Come on, man, there's enough saliva on this thing. After you were done with your set, I swear to God, I got up here, and it was covered in some kind of liquid. I think it was sweat. Tommy thought it was spit, but...
It was cum.
I can see, choice C.
How long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for a year and a half. The first place I did comedy was actually like 20 years ago. I did it a couple times, like 2 times.
Really?
And it didn't go that great, and I was really hammered, and I didn't have any original jokes or anything. I just went up there and told some stock jokes, And then for the next 20 years, I told everybody, "Oh yeah, I've done comedy before. I've done that." And then about a year and a half ago, I decided to really get into it, and as we all know, it's a different beast once you really get into it.
What made you decide to start back up and start original and actually pursue it this time?
Well, to be honest, without trying to sound arrogant, to be honest, I would watch TV. I've always been a huge comedy buff, and I'd watch TV, and I'd see a lot of comics that I really, actually personally felt like I was funnier than, or that eventually over time could do a better job than, and these comics were actually having some success, so I figured, I knew I was destined for greatness, but I didn't know how it was going to happen, and then I've always been like a funny motherfucker,
Not arrogant at all, my friend.
What?
Not arrogant in the least.
No, I'm just answering the question, man. I've always been a funny motherfucker, so I figured, hey, why don't I try to parlay this into something, because I don't want to really do any hard work or a real job or just have to cut into my free time,
Is this all you do? Do you have another job besides comedy, or?
No, this is basically all I do. Sometimes I'll bartend and stuff in season, but it's been a few months since I've done any bartending because I feel like I'm too good for it now.
True. Where does your comedy come from? What inspires you? What gets you going?
A lot of different things inspire me. I'd have to say, are you asking me who my influences are and comedically?
Well, sure, yeah. What inspires you? Who do you think you could compare yourself to, and just where do you come up with your material?
Well, who inspires me more than anybody is Howard Stern. Howard Stern, he's my hero. For 20 years, I've been a huge super fan, and I often find myself thinking of premises to jokes, and then when I was starting to cultivate it into a bit, I realized that it's something I heard Howard talking about on his show. So I don't know how many bits I've had that I thought were originally formed in my mind that I realized I was inadvertently lifting from Howard and had to throw them on the scrap heap. But other influences, I love Norm Macdonald. I love Mitch Hedberg, Louis C.K., as everybody does. So I like to, I just like to do jokes. I like to play with words. I like to play with, with taking someone in a different direction than they thought they were going with the premise.
Role play time. A young comedian sees you, do your stuff. He comes up to you after the show, and he says, "Anden Scott, I want to be a comedian too." What kind of advice would you give him?
Well, sure, that happens all the time, and at least 10, 15 times a show that I do, I'll have the kids come up to me and say, "How do you do it?" Well, can I have your autograph? All that stuff, And you can't let it go to your head. You just can't. But what was the question?
Well, what advice would you give to an aspiring comedian?
Well, this is the way I see it. I met a lot of comedians that maybe weren't naturally funny, but they said, you know, I'm going to work real hard, I'm going to hit this craft, I'm going to write, I'm going to do everything the way you're supposed to do it. And those people always suck. You have to be naturally funny, you know. If you're not, then just, you know, get another line of work or hobby, or don't expect to, you know, get far in this, because you got to be naturally funny, which, you know, luckily I always was.
Of course, of course. Another thing that I'm a big fan of yours for is your roast.
Oh, okay.
You're a big, you know, good roast master. Do you enjoy doing that? You like writing for specifically reach people?
Yeah, no, roasts are my favorite. I'm kind of known as the roast master because of my, you know, bar none. I'm the best roaster, you know, and it's just something that comes naturally because I look at all you guys and it's like the jokes almost write themselves.
So you're better than Lee Blackson?
I'm not a better promoter or booker.
Do you ever see yourself going in that direction, or do you want to just keep performing, hitting every stage?
No, there's no way I would want to be a booker. I see like poor Tommy Amato, and I see stuff that other people go through, you know, and it's just, you know, I'm a hired gun. I'm not going to round up the posse, but if I'd be, you know, the fast gun in the posse, you know, you keep pulling the microphone further. Are you trying to lead me to your lap or something? I'm like, hey, we can smoke in here? Can someone bring me an ashtray? I didn't know we could smoke in here.
Okay, you've done a lot of shows, obviously, here in Florida. What do you think the Southwest Florida comedy scene needs? What would help, you know, us here in Southwest Florida?
You know, I was really shocked when I first had the notion to get into comedy. I really didn't think there was going to be anybody doing it. I really thought that there wasn't any comedy scene, or that I'd be one of a couple people. And I was really shocked to see not only how many comedians there are, but how bad most of them are. No, most of them are pretty good, actually. I was surprised to see how good they were. And they're all nice guys. And you know what? I know a lot of people that live in different towns. And in those towns, I know everybody either fights or hates each other or stabs each other back. And everybody here in Southwest Florida really does look out for each other. And I really do. And I've made a lot of good friends.
That's nice. Who do you like working with specifically here in Southwest Florida? Who's some of your favorite people to do shows with?
To do shows with or do shows for?
Both.
To do shows for is Max Mosquito. You know, he's not here tonight. But he's a really great guy. He does everything right.
Is there any advice you have for the comedy scene as a whole? Like, what would you like to... Anything?
Yeah, I do actually. And this doesn't apply to most people. But if I had to give a piece of advice to the comedy scene as a whole, it's I don't care how bad you want to, I don't care how funny it is, I don't care if no one knows. Don't steal jokes, or don't use other people's jokes. Don't get jokes from shows, don't get jokes from the internet. You know, there are some comics that do that, and, you know, and the weird thing is that it's usually the better comics that do that. And it makes you wonder why they feel like they need that as a crutch or anything. And I would quit comedy before I would use someone else's material.
Nice, nice. So, comics clapping for that. Booker calls you on the phone. He's like, Anden Scott, I've heard of you. Tell me why I should book you. What do you say?
Well, I say that I'm prompt, well hung, I don't eat a lot, and no, really, honestly, what I'd say is, you know, I'm pretty consistent. I don't have a lot of terrible shows where I bomb out, and I really attribute that to I quit drinking before my shows. And sometimes I'd start, because I used to get really nervous before my shows, so I'm not even a drinker, but I'd get nervous and I'd fire back like 4 or 5 drinks right before the show because I'd be nervous to get on stage. And then I sometimes it would be a while before I'd go on and I'd get hammered, and then I'd have a bad show. So I would say don't get hammered, and if you have to do something, like do drugs instead.
You would actually say drugs over alcohol?
Yeah, like take a pill, because you know you can manage that. When you get drunk, it gets out of hand.
No, I just want your signature.
All right. And then where do you see yourself 5, 10, 15 years in the comedy scene? Where do you want to see yourself go?
I really do think, I'm not sure exactly what direction that I'll go in, but I really do think that I'm going to make it. I wouldn't be in comedy if I didn't think I was going to make it to the next level. So hopefully I'll be at the next level. You know, I've had little slight cracks in the door to make it in different ways, and you know, I just gotta kick it through. And you know, if in 5 or 10 years I'm not any further than I am now, you know, I probably would hang it up.
And kill yourself?
No, I wouldn't kill myself because I still have so much to offer this world, and that's not like a cliche thing that people say to not commit suicide. I really am a great guy and brilliant, and
a beautiful baby boy.
And I'm a beautiful baby boy.
I like your hat.
And he likes my hat.
You brush your teeth?
All right, come on, get your own comics corner, dude.
See any good movies lately?
A couple. Let's see any good movies lately. Bruno. I just watched that again. That's one of my favorites.
Anything before 2007?
I think that was 2009, but
it was not 09.
All right. No, I don't go to the movies a lot because I have little kids, you know. And if I'm gonna go out and get a babysitter or something like that, it's so I can do a comedy show, not so I can go to the movie.
Here's a real question. Do you find it hard to judge because you got a wife, you got kids? Do you find it hard to judge shows and kids? Is there every time you gotta, you know, unfortunately skip a show because of them?
Yeah, it's difficult because, you know, I want to be with my family so much. It's me personally who doesn't want to leave. My children love me, my wife and family, they adore me. And it's really torturous for them when I have to leave. So, you know, it rips my heart out, not because of me, but for them.
Now, you say that, you say, you know, you want to continue in comedy. Like, let's say you start, you know, they want you to come on road comedy. Say, hey, come along tour with us. We're going, you know, everywhere. Are you going to be okay with that? How are you going to deal with that?
I will drop those fuckers like a hot potato. If I'm going to make it, you know. I mean,
it'll break your heart until you get a tour.
Everybody in show business has, like, multiple families and stuff. This is my non-famous family. And when I make it to the next level, you know, I'll get, like, a lower grade model, and then when I make it to the level after that, I'll break up with her and go out with like a movie actress or something.
I see you with Winona Ryder. Is that?
She's too old.
She's too old? Miley Cyrus?
She's too old. No.
Someone not born yet?
You know, well, no. By the time I make it, actually, Miley Cyrus will probably be my age. You know?
Yeah. 26.
26.
We do have to wrap up, Anden. I know how much you love the camera. Any parting words for the audience at home?
I don't love the camera. I really don't. The camera loves me.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just doing it for cameras and computers everywhere, you know, so I can bring a little sunshine into someone's day. And by the way, this is just a comedy cigarette. I don't smoke.
You don't smoke?
It's a prop.
Cool. Well, you'll get prop cancer later. Anyway, this was Comics Corner. I was Jordan Owens.
And I'm Anden Scott.
Thanks for watching. Good night. Good luck. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.